In some situation, our data may have more than one row. For example, you go to the page 40. This is quite rare, but this may happen. Especially the report we download from a system and save it as CSV file or Excel file. Because the report usually is meant for printed. When it printed on the A4 size, it may not able to fit. So some record may split into multiple rows. So like the one on the page 40, the diagram 4-12, you notice there's an order number, customer, item, and the next row is date, contact, and quantity. So two rows represent one complete record. If you encounter something like this one, it's not easy to handle in the normal Excel way. Normal. So the intended outcome will be on the next page 41. So there's 4-13, that's intended outcome. So let's see how we're able to use Power Query to handle this one. Very, very useful technique, not many people aware. So let's do this together. Go to the folder called One Record Multiple Rows. Let me open one of the data file. You don't need to open, you just look at the screen will do. So this is the staff list. Presume I get this data from a system, and because it's meant to get it printed, and it's something like this one. Has a 2 columns and another 2 columns at the bottom. So that means if let's say I want to do it manually, this is the outcome manually lah. Okay ah. Can huh? So this one, some people they use some formulas, it's quite complicated if let's say they are dealing with this kind of data regularly. So let's see how we're able to go through this one. The step may be a little bit longer. So let me explain the logic behind. Let me explain the logic behind so that you are able to know why we are doing all these things. First, we need to know the sequencing, the number. Inside here, I'm using some explanation here. Over here, you will notice if I put a sequential number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and continue. The alternate number is the next one I want to put on the previous one. So in short, we can see the number has an even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. You can see it's keep on repeating. So that means I need to move the odd record outside so that I'm able to merge it with the even row. At the value is be even. So inside here, I will be, if let's say in Excel, I'll be using a formula called is odd. Don't need to memorize this one. Later we can do something similar in Power Query. Okay, whether it's odd or even. Those equal to false, that means I need to move them towards the side. All those, they are even number, move them towards the side. So let me move it manually. It will be something like this. Let me move one more so they can see some pattern. Got it? Because we need to make sure they are on the same row. But the data is underneath. Should I use fill up or fill down to get the data? Go back up. Fill up or fill down? Fill up. Thank you. So we need to use fill up. After fill up, and then we can remove those on the even row. We can remove them. So at the end, we only having one continuous row of record. Okay, so that's the logic behind. Let's go through slowly one by one. Let's go through slowly one by one. I go to data, get data from file, from Excel workbook. And then we go to the exercise file just now. One, record multiple rows. And then we choose staff list number 1. In the staff list number 1, because this is an Excel file, we need to select which worksheet. Good. So I select the staff worksheet. And then I want to do some correction on the data. Which button should I click? Transform. Thank you. We click on the transform. Good. Over here, we are going to insert a sequential number. The sequential column. So let's go to add column. There's something called index column. Click on the small triangle. And the index column, we can choose what is the starting number. We choose the starting number from 1. From 1, and you click, and you'll notice it has a 1, 2, 3, 4, and continue. So while this column is selected, and we want to identify whether it's odd or even number. Some people, they may have some difficulty. What's odd or even number? Okay, give me some example of odd number. 1, 3, 5, 7, okay, 9. Oh, okay. So that means the odd number, they cannot divide by number 2 and without any remaining. Even number, that means even number like 2, 4, 6, 8, they are able to divide by number 2 without any remaining. Okay, so we want to know which are the odd or even number. While this column is selected, you go to add column, there's something called information. Information, and let's see, okay, use even, is even. Click on is even. You notice it has added another column for us. You will have true or false. Got it? So now is the fun part. We want to know whenever it's true, I want to move the data another place. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We're going to use something called conditional column, which is equivalent to the Excel if. Yeah, if this one is true, do that. Otherwise, do something else. So using if. Here will be something simpler. So let's click conditional column. The good thing here, most of the thing can be done using mouse to click, not so much of the typing. So we want to give a column name. So I want to use, this is for the first name. So I just type the custom name, first name. Because this is second column, a second row, first name. And I want to compare the column is even. Go over here, the column name, you can see a drop down, is even, equals to, you type the wording true. I type it here. Okay. True. If this is true, I want to show the data from another column. So we do not need to key in ourselves. We change the drop down instead of A, B, C. We say I want to select from a column. Then choose which column? Column number 1. Got it? So the rest, if let's say else, I leave it blank lah. I leave it blank. So I can just press OK. You see the first name appears on the other side? Very good. So I want this the first name. So we repeat something similar. We go to add column, conditional column. Inside conditional column, That will be our last name. Okay, last name. And we want to check based on the column is even equals to true. Happy yourself, Mary. True. If this is true, I want to output from another column. And that column will be column number 2. Because the first name is under column 2. So else, we leave it blank. And then we can just press enter or click OK. Got it? So we have the first name, last name, and I want to get the data go up. What should I do? Yeah, select these 2 columns because they are the same thing we need to do. Don't need to do it one by one. We can do it at once. And then we right click, fill up. Fill up. Got it? So now we want to remove those is even equivalent to true. So I can just use filter and take out the true, only remain false. And press OK. And what should I do to make sure they are okay? What else I need to do? Yeah, header, right? Before header, index and is even, is it required? Yes or no? They are not required. So I can select these 2 columns and say thank you very much and remove them. Right click and remove columns for the index and is even. Okay, so now almost there, almost there. Okay, what's the final step? Yes, we need to make sure the header, column 1, column 2. Then we use first row as headers. Okay, depending on the question, does the question requires us to merge? No, it doesn't. So if let's say it requires you to merge, you can merge it now. Otherwise, this is good to go. Okay, so presume this is good to go. I want to bring this data back to Excel. Just go to home, close and load. Thank you. So this is how we're able to combine 2 rows back to single row. So I believe you all are getting better and better. And I want you all to do this on your own. Version 2. Version 2, you need to redo the whole thing again because the column totally different. Let me explain the staff list version 2. Staff list version 2 has more records. You can see it has a staff ID, name prefix, first name, and you can see the last name is just write it right underneath. Not in the normal order, as the email, date of birth. So now I want to invite you to do in this order. So let me do this. Project number, staff list version 2, present dash end result like this one. Okay, have fun using a similar technique like just now. Very good. So now at least you're aware how you're able to transform 2 rows of record into single row. If let's say we want to do this manually in Excel, it will be very tricky. Good. So this one we have done up to just now. So let